What's going on, everybody? It is me, Tristan. Me, Jackson. And we're sitting here with Cordell Holmes.
How y'all doing?
Owner of Holmes Fitness. And we really appreciate you coming on here and taking some time out of your day to sit and chat with us.
I appreciate you guys inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. So we're here today down here in your gym at the Y. And just one of my first questions is just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started.
So like anyone, I started with football, playing that, year to year to year. But then, I started to, have injuries. So then with that, I was like, well, the people that are supposed to be taking care of us when we were playing, didn't really do what they're supposed to do. And then I was like, well, I want to do better than what they did. So then I went to school. I joined the military. I learned a little bit more. That's where I started to lift weights. And then once I got out, I used my GI Bill, and I went to school for athletic training. Now, that helped me, get to where I am now, especially with, looking out for athletes, looking out for individuals who may get hurt. Now I can help with injury prevention. Something that, I didn't have when I was growing up or as I was playing sports or trying to be active. So that was one way that I got into it.
Yeah, playing football myself, that's not something that we ever really talked about was injury prevention. It was just, lift weights, get strong, play football, and recover. And there wasn't really much talk about how to prevent injuries and things like that. So that's pretty great that you're doing that and kind of bringing that to light. So you said you went to the military, used your GI Bill to go to school. At what point did you start thinking about transitioning all that into a business?
I want to say probably, after I finished junior college. So I did 2 years when I was upstate New York. I got my associates from there. And then I was like, well, I really want to have my own establishment where, I can train individuals, I can help them athletes' performance, I can help them with prevention. Then I can also, train individuals that aren't athletes, to become better. So that's when I first started.
And just to get kind of like a timeline, what year was that?
That was back in 2014.
2014?
Yeah.
All right. So after you went to school, after you decided you wanted to turn this into business, you said you were in upstate New York. When did you come to Battle Creek?
I came right back. Well, I'm from Battle Creek.
Okay.
Yep. So with the military, you got to travel wherever they got you going. So I went to upstate New York, and then I ended up coming back after I finished junior college, which was, 2 years after that. So I came back in 2013.
2013.
Yeah.
And so what were the first steps that you took when you were like, all right, I want to own my house? What were the first couple things you were like?
The first thing was basically going to Western Michigan, getting my bachelor's degree in athletic training. And from there, that's where everything that I was dreaming of, started to come true, putting all the pieces together. So when I was up at Western Michigan.
Okay. And so how soon after graduation did you decide to, start your own thing and go from there?
I started to mix that in my senior year at Western. I was doing a little bit of personal training. Me and a buddy of mine, Brian Rudd, he let me, shadow a little bit. And then, I got my feet wet. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I really want to do this. And then that's when the following year, I actually got out and did it on my own.
So you were taking clients in while you were still in school?
Yep.
That's pretty sweet. That's something I think no matter what time that some people don't do, that they think, okay, I'm going to school.
Yeah.
I got to go to school.
Yep.
They don't think, oh, why don't I take this advantage of having access to all these people around me that are like-minded, that are trying to do this, and you have a service that you can provide them. Why wait?
Yeah, well, school, I'm not going to say school wasn't hard. School was tough.
Yeah.
So, what I was doing personal training-wise, I didn't make my slate full, right? I gave me enough time to, family life, working, school work, and then also train individuals at the same time. So probably like a handful of people Yeah.
That's a good
Just
way
to get the experience out.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a good way to get started and really kind of figure out that that's exactly what you want to do. Because you get started, you get your degree, get a job, and then if training people isn't what you really want to do, it's kind of backwards. So it's a good idea to do that.
Right, and kind of like how we had the course in the cohort, they were talking about prototyping. That's what it was. And for us, our prototype kind of still is the car unit and where we're at now. And so it's kind of awesome to see that you had the foresight to kind of do that without
having the guidance.
Yeah,
which is kind of crazy, right? How we prototype before we even know what a prototype was.
Yeah.
Took it upon ourselves to be like, okay, we want to go down this adventure. What do we need to do in the process? So that's what we did. It's kind of crazy.
It is.
So, you got out of school, had a few clients. When did Holmes Fitness start?
It started actually, I did Choose to Lose here at Battle Creek Y Center. It's a program, a weight loss program.
All right.
From there, I started to build a clientele with groups.
So, you put on Choose to Lose?
No, I didn't put it on. The Y Center put it on, and then I was one of the trainers that was in the program.
Okay.
Yep. So, the clients came to me for specific times, and then we train once a week, and then that's when the group training really started.
So the group training is what you're heavy in now, right?
Yes, and as my own business, group training and one-on-one.
Okay, so when you're because you've been saying that you started off looking at helping athletes and kind of reforming how athletes work out to kind of repair themselves while they're injured, right?
Yeah. So when I had a handful of individuals, one-on-one clients, I had maybe one or two kids, student athletes, and then I had some adults. But then, I noticed that, during the school year or when the season comes back, the kids tend to fall off. I had to find out a way to make, extra income when I not train kids. And then that's where the adult, boot camps took over. So training with groups, adults doing the boot camps, group training. That's where it started to elevate. It's
been crazy seeing all the a lot of people have been doing it. And it's crazy the amount of traction you guys have been bringing in. Just in the past, I think 12 months I started seeing the first thing that you had was 12 months ago, and then now I see it all the time.
Business has bloomed since the first time I started. Yeah.
So how many group classes do you have right now?
I have about 12 a week. So that's basically my program or commitment. It's unlimited. So you can come to any of those 12 classes.
So you don't have to come to the same one every. So you can say,
you can mix it up.
This Thursday I'm booked, so I can go Friday or whatever. Okay, that's great.
So what time are these classes normally taking place?
I have one in the morning and then in the evening. Some days I have 2 mornings, so at 6 o'clock. And then from there it's at 9, and then in the evenings at 6. So try to hit those times before individuals go to work and then when they get out of work.
Right. Okay, that's pretty smart.
So earlier you kind of mentioned some of the student athletes. So is that one of your target markets? Do you look for student athletes to train, or do they come find you?
That's the end goal is have individuals come seek me out, but no, I still seek them out. Word of mouth has been my biggest asset so far. I probably won't never go away from that because there's always word of mouth.
Right, yeah.
Social media was something that hit real big for everybody, but you can see it, but then if you don't have nobody who experienced it, they can't really talk about it. So if they experience it, talk about it, then you got that word of mouth for you. And they're more, tempted to go try it than just watching a video. They might be intimidated by the video.
Right. One thing that I saw that you do is you have challenges, right?
Yep.
Weight loss challenges. Can you talk a little bit more how you integrated that into what you do?
So I'll try to make it interesting for everybody who partake in the challenges. The first one that I did was kind of how strong are you challenge, right? So that was the first one I did. It involved, a little bit of measurements, weight, but the main focus was basically seeing how much, you can lift. Because I don't want everyone to base their numbers off a scale. The scale, fluctuate from time to time. It can lie to you.
Right, muscles weigh
more than fat.
And you can have a lot more water one day.
Yeah. So that was a good challenge for everybody. I would say that was a stepping stone challenge for me, to see, what it can actually bring to the clientele and how they respond. And then the next one was, that's when I did a weight loss challenge that actually involved a scale. And then, that's where, some individuals were like, down on themselves because, the scale was up. But I was like, the scale is not always right. Look at your body.
Yeah.
Base your results of what your body looks like, not, the scale. If you feel good, look good, then damn it, you good, right?
Yeah.
right. So that was another one. I was like, okay, maybe the scale challenge isn't the right one. So then I did a no scale. That was challenging for people too, because you didn't have to always win. So
right,
Cordell, we're not winning. No, we're not winning. It's a no scale challenge, right? So that was interesting too. And now I got a game on challenge. Okay, this is my last one that I'm doing right now. I actually incorporated sports teams. Okay, you pick one high school football team, you pick a college football team, local high school, and then you pick an NFL team. Okay, you have a possibility of 15 points from those teams if they win. If they lose, you get -3. All right. So it's an accountability challenge. Weight loss will come because you got to eat good in order for it to come towards points. You got to drink the water that you need daily in order to count up points. So that's a way of keeping people accountable in losing weight without a scale.
Right. So that's actually really, really cool because you're implementing something that no one has control over. Mm-hmm. But everybody can get behind real quick and be like, oh yeah, I'm rooting for them because I got points because you want those points, obviously. But also, like you said, they lose, it's going to bring you back. So you got to work harder. And so, most of the time, it's a 50-50 toss-up. So,
unless you pick a certain team, they're going to win all the time. It's like, let me see. I think a team picked Clemson, right? They're 3-0 right now.
Yeah.
Right. And then another team picked the Patriots. I think they're 3-0 right now too. So you got a team right there that's winning consistently until they lose. So how do you stacking up the points?
How do you combat that? If there's going to be certain teams out there that are going to just constantly be.
Well, they got that's where you have you have the high school that may not win, right? Or you have the NFL team that may not win, or the college that may not win.
So you mentioned drinking the right amount of water you're supposed to every day. How much is that?
So that's about half your body weight in ounces. Okay. Usually I stick to a gallon or more. So about a gallon and a half.
Now, does that fluctuate based on body type, or is that just like a pretty good standard?
Pretty good standard.
Okay.
A gallon of water a day. Yep. You don't drink it down in one sitting, you make yourself sick.
Yeah.
That, and then a lot of people, say, well, I'm constantly going to the bathroom. Well, yeah, your body got to get adjusted to drinking all the water because maybe you weren't drinking enough water at first. So just give it time, and then your body adapts, and then you won't be going to the bathroom.
Your body will start using it instead of just getting it out. Okay. I know there's something else I want to know.
So you have your group classes, you got your personal training. What is one of the next steps that you want to do?
I got youth training as well.
Okay.
So I still do sports performance, even though I didn't talk about it. So I do more one-on-one with the athletes now. I have a group of maybe 3 or 4 kids, but the main has been the one-on-one. The next step for me is probably should continue to grow, man. That's any business.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're not growing, you're not succeeding. So just grow, keep growing.
What's one program you think you want to implement next?
Another program?
Whether it's like a challenge.
Oh, okay.
Like a certain class or whatever.
So right now I have Box to Burn. Okay, that's one of my classes that I have. It's an exclusive class. I'm going to bring that over to the unlimited program. So then everybody can sign up for it. But it's going to be limited space. So you got to tell me that you reserve your spot in order to come. Because I don't want to say, oh yeah, just show up and then I have no bags for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's already in play. But getting people more used to having that class available.
So what things would you use to think of these new
Concepts,
right? Because I think that's one of the things that people struggle with in fitness is it's either they plateau or they mentally get burnt out because it's like a hamster running around a wheel. Like it's like, oh, I feel like I'm just doing the same thing over. So how do you change it up?
I can't tell you that, man. Can't give away secrets.
Tricks of the trade.
I'm not opening a gym.
But no, I try to keep it interesting for them all the time. Try not to repeat the same exercises, every day. Each week is something different. You always work on, upper body or lower body, but I don't do the same exercises from day to day.
So you talked about some of your performance training. Is that something you want to get more into and develop more of? Is more than just like the weight training, but like the whole, there's like college athletes that when they're getting ready for the draft, they go to performance centers. Is that something that you would like to do? Maybe not that scale, but more local for like high school athletes?
Absolutely. That's been one of my goals. Actually, one of my dreams, I would say, to have a space where I'm producing these athletes that are ready for college, ready for the NFL. But then, what about the day-to-day people? Right? It's the backbone of America, right?
Yeah.
So they always got to be ready for work. So, actually, I enjoy getting the individuals that come to my class ready for work, life, whatever it is. Maybe just to, spend time with their kids, right? I have a few clients that, are older, and they actually enjoy, they don't come to class, they do one-on-ones. But, it's part of their regiment, so they can, function on a day-to-day basis. So, I really appreciate that. I have an opportunity to work with them.
And I can tell by the way you speak and kind of how I've seen you operate from afar that you as a physical trainer is going to get people in that right mindset. You're going to be able to tell them, the right things at the right time to get them through a workout. And I'm damn sure know you're probably going to hold them accountable too.
Always, you have to hold them accountable. Because if not, they tend to, they want to have, some type of structure, right? And then that's where, with the group training, the boot camps and stuff like that, that's where the structure comes from. So they don't have to, dang, what exercise am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to train to get ready for this? Just come on down, I got you.
Right.
That's good. Yeah, and I think one of the things I really like is I get the feeling that you are pretty inclusive for everybody. Like you said, you have some older clients that are just basically doing it so they can stay active. And you even mentioned that you have a whole bunch of people that are not athletes. They're just people that want to get into shape or just be normal and not sit around and be stagnant. So I think that's pretty great because I think a lot of times when people think of the gym or they see Holmes Fitness, they're like, oh man, he's huge. I have to be like that if I want to enjoy it. And I think that intimidates some people. And it's really great that it's not actually that way and it's very inclusive.
Honestly, they shouldn't be intimidated with me. They should be intimidated with the women that's in the class because they can actually bring it. So, I have a handful of guys and then, most of my clientele is female. So, you'd be surprised at, the work that they can put in compared to the guys. Well, they come into class and oh man, this is nothing. This is a bunch of girls in here. Nah, That's not the case.
Well, I think just in general, people underestimate themselves because they've never, a lot of times you've never been in a serious organized sport where you have to push yourself and you do that and you're working out and playing to the point of exhaustion because most of the time people don't do that sort of thing. They just go lift some weights, then go home.
Right.
But people would be really surprised at what you can, how much you can lift. Like you said, how strong are you challenging? But there's a ton of people that didn't know they could lift that much. And because it's hard to do it when you're only working out by yourself because you're never going to push yourself because you're by yourself. You have to leave something there. And so it's just something that everybody should experience once or twice in their life is just, working out to their fullest.
Testing their limitations,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely. So, do you have any more questions?
I think that might be it.
Yeah, so we always ask the same 2 questions, kind of wrap up the
Oh,
interviews.
shoot. What's that?
So one, what is some advice that you can give to people or that are either, starting a business, looking to do their everyday life, or maybe, trying to get to the next step in their fitness? And then 2, what is one of the biggest failures or setbacks in your life that actually ended up being something that propelled you forward in a much greater way?
So to hit up on the first one, always believe in yourself, right? The first step is knowing that you need to make a change. And then from there, actually getting in the door to actually do it. A lot of people, tend to talk about it.
Right.
So, talking about it is one of those steps, but it's only a little bit. So, once you come to the door and actually, start to exercise or start to write down, the type of business that you want, then, that's when you take the next step, that you actually, trying to make it come true. It's been like a long, short journey for me. Thought about it, I'm not a write down person. I tend to think about it a lot. And, everything comes up in my head and I'm like, dang, I should have wrote that down. But at the same time, if I implement it quick enough, I don't have to write it down. So, always believe in yourself, make that first step towards whatever your goal is, weight loss or starting a business. And then, never get stagnant, right? It's easy to get stagnant when you start to see the clientele come in. You start to see some money, and you don't want to change nothing because it's like, well, okay, I'm here, I got money coming in, all is fine. No, you get stagnant, it gets boring, and then you don't want to work hard anymore. So never get stagnant.
And that's what brought that success to begin with, is that
That's
pushing
right.
it.
Yeah. Second one. What was the second question?
Well, what is one of the biggest failures or setbacks that actually ended up being a positive? So one thing that we always say, we went to a show once, sold 0.
Yep.
But that brought us together and gave us enough time to basically launch our business to the next level. And so what was one of those kind of focal points in your?
I would have to say it wasn't a setback. Well, kind of sort of setback. So like I mentioned about, training kids, that's where my heart was, but then I also see them drop. So when I saw them drop, I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? Because this is an income that, I had coming in, but, as that door closed, another door opened for me. So there will always be a door open as long as your mind is open to, new things. So I took the opportunity to, start training into women. And then from there, I started training women and guys together. So having that open mindset.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for letting us come into your gym, hang out with you, talk. And
Is there anything you want to plug or say to anybody?
yeah, where can they find you on social media?
Where can they find me on social media? So Holmes Fitness LLC, that is my Facebook page, my business page. I kind of use Instagram, but not really. I saw that, you know, I had more clientele coming off of Facebook than I had Instagram. So Facebook is my main one.
All right.
Sweet. Well,
You heard it. Holmes Fitness LLC on Facebook. Check it out. He's got great stuff. And I mean, if you're plugged into the Battle Creek community, I guarantee you know someone who goes to one of his classes and posts about him all the time. Because that's one thing you have is a great following of people that post about your business all the time.
yeah, which shows a lot about you that they believe in your product, you.
Right.
You know, so hats off to you.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Like I said, thanks for letting us on. And that's it for tonight, everybody. Thanks for coming down and take it easy.